Hi, and thanks for taking a look at what we've put together here and taking a look at Practice Ignition. What I'm going to take you through today is the client experience when you send them a proposal, and then also the experience for yourself as what it looks like to build that proposal out and how easy it is to build that proposal out in Practice Ignition. So what we've got on the screen here is a proposal that I've built for my client, AAA Plumbing, and I've sent it to them. They've received an email with a link that will take them through to this page here. As you can see, this page is branded. All of the colors match the logo, and this is what we can customize for your firm as well. Within this proposal, you can embed a video here. So this video can either be a generic video about your practice, who you are, what you do, and how you work with clients. What a lot of firms that I work with at the moment are doing is recording individual videos for each client as well. So talking through what you've discussed in that initial discovery meeting, rather than writing a 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraph email, you record a 30-second minute long video just to explain to that client what you're going to be doing for them and the value that you're going to be adding to their business. We all know in this day and age, video is a really powerful tool. As you can see, I'm talking to you through video, but having that and that personal touch really helps when it comes to closing out prospects and making sure that you're getting the deals that you want to get with your clients. As we scroll down here, you've also got the ability to add a welcome message in there. So within this welcome message, you can include whatever you might want to, but you can also put hyperlinks to any external forms. So if you've got an onboarding form or a survey that you need that client to complete, you can add that in here as well, and they can click on that link and it will take them through to that separate page to complete that information. The next page is something that we do for you. So as part of your subscription to Practice Ignition, we will build you a marketing brochure for your business. So as the client scrolls through, they can see a little bit about your practice, who you are, what you do. And this is all included within your subscription of Practice Ignition. And we can get that turned around within a day or two so that you can attach it to all of your proposals for your new clients, but also potentially your existing clients so that you can sell your value and the benefits of working with your firm to them. As the client then moves through the stages, this proposal is an example of our options functionality. So within here, you can quote different options to the client so you can make them or give them the responsibility of choosing the one that is right for their business. You can see here, we've got 3 options, bronze, silver, gold. You can call the packages whatever you might want to call them. And you can also put a brief description against each package as well. You get to choose which package you put the recommended banner on also. So if you feel that the gold package is going to be right for that client, then you can do that. You can put the recommended banner on the bronze or the silver. It's completely up to you. As you can see here, we've got different monthly amounts that we're going to be charging this client, but it doesn't just have to be monthly. You could have monthly prices and also on completion or on acceptance billing, or even fluctuating variable unit-based billing as well. So it might even be that you're still quoting hourly, or for payroll, you might be quoting on a per employee level. So you can quote that to the client as well, and it will show up here what that variable unit price will be. As you can see here, we've got different services that are included within those packages. So you've got your monthly accounting, you've got your bookkeeping, etc., included in them, but then you've got additional services for each package going up the ladder, as it were. And the client can clearly see what the difference is between the packages and the price difference as well. As we've got recommended gold, so we're going to select the gold package here. When the client then selects the package that they've chosen, it then takes them through to a detailed description of exactly what's included within that package as well. So as we scroll down here, the client can get a real detailed description of all of the services that you're providing. If they look at this and decide, actually, we could probably be on the silver package, they can always come back, select that one, and it takes them through to the summary again, where they can see exactly what's included in there. The next page as they go through is a detailed summary of the price schedule or the billing schedule that you've got with that client. So this is we're just doing monthly for this client, so you can see their monthly fee and when that's going to be billed. So we've got this set to start billing as soon as they accept the proposal. So it's going to have today's date in there. You can set it to bill on specific days or a specific time after they've accepted. So it might be that you want to start billing a week after they've accepted the proposal, or you want to do all of your billing on the 1st or the 14th of the month, or whatever your payment terms might be. You can add that in there as well. And it will also show here, if you've got multiple payment types, so if you're billing monthly, but then you're also billing quarterly or on completion for some services, it will show that up here as well, so the client can see exactly what they're going to get charged, what for, and when. The final page, and probably the most important page when it comes to that sort of legal requirement of you onboarding a client, is their letter of engagement. So when you build the proposal out in Practice Ignition, what it will do is it will customize that letter of engagement for you as well, based on the services that you select. So whatever the services are in the package that they've selected, it will then automatically populate that letter of engagement with the correct service terms, with the period of engagement, so from when that is valid from, and they can scroll down and view that here. They can also view it as a PDF by clicking on the link, and that will download a PDF for them to be able to keep for their own records if they wanted to. But if they wanted a signed copy, when they tick the box and they type their name in here and click accept, Practice Ignition will automatically send them a signed copy of that proposal for their own reference. When they click accept, this is quite a lot of information in here, but you can again tailor this information to pull through whatever you might need to pull through, and you can put hyperlinks in here, and you can even put the billing information on there as well. What you can do is embed a video into this page as well. So you might have a standard onboarding video, or you might want to build a specific video for this client, again, that you can attach to this page so they can see what the next steps are and how that's going to work for them going forward with working with yourselves. Once this proposal has been accepted, there's lots that can happen in the background and lots of integration and automation that we can drive through Practice Ignition. And that's what I'm going to take you through in a second. But one of the key things that a lot of firms that we work with do is they'll automate an onboarding email to go to a client. So once they've accepted this proposal, they'll connect Practice Ignition to Outlook or to Gmail or to their email provider via our Zapier connection. And you can then send a checklist to that client once they've accepted that proposal with tasks for them to complete. So you know that that's been sent and they've got a record of that and what they need to do going forward as well. So it makes it nice and simple and saves you time having to then do any further steps after onboarding that client. While we're on the topic of automation within Practice Ignition, so once that proposal has been sent to the client, so before it's accepted, if the client doesn't accept that proposal, it will be in awaiting signature. When it's in awaiting signature, Practice Ignition will automatically chase this proposal for you. So we'll send reminder emails to that client to get them to sign this agreement for you. And you can determine how quickly they go out and how many times they go out within your settings, up to 3 times. We'll send a reminder email to the client and you'll get notifications, and you'll always be able to see in the clients tab which proposals are awaiting acceptance. So this is the one that we've just sent. We've actually just accepted it. So if we refresh the screen, we'll see it's now moved from awaiting acceptance to accepted. So when it comes to the automation at the back of Practice Ignition, once that proposal has been accepted, if you are using a cloud ledger like a Xero or a QuickBooks, what we can do then is we can automatically set up the recurring invoice or the billing for that client. And you can manage all of that in the billing schedule here. So within that billing schedule here, you can see we've got all of the bills that are going out for that client. Here's the one that we added in today, the 15th of July for that silver package. And you can see we've got a couple of different sections here. So we've got billed automatically. So these are your fixed recurring fees that are going to go out to that client automatically. And then in the build manually section, we've got anything that is maybe a project that you're working on that you're not sure when you're going to build. So you've got it as set to on completion. It could be a service that you're charging on a fluctuating amount, but on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. And that will all show up here in the build manually section. And what you can do then is you can tick that box and you can either invoice it when you're ready. So if you come in and you know you want to invoice straight away, you click on invoice now. Or if you know that, okay, we're going to be finished that work by the end of June, so we want to schedule that invoice to go out on the last day of June. You can always adjust the final price if it is a fluctuating invoice, and you can put a note on there as well to then pull through onto that invoice for that client. We click review and confirm. What that will do is it will move that build manually item down into the 30th of June. It's going to be billed automatically for that client. Up here at the top as well, you've got an invoices tab. So you'll be able to see any past invoices that have been raised for that client. So as we scroll through here, we've got all of the old invoices that have been generated for that client. And if you've got your Xero Ledger or QuickBooks Ledger integrated here, you'll be able to click on a link and it will take you straight through to that invoice within your QuickBooks or Xero Ledger. So that's the client experience and managing that experience after they've signed that agreement. Let's take it back a few steps. So we'll take it right to the start. When you first get that lead into Practice Ignition, you might be managing that through a CRM. You might just have a spreadsheet that you keep with leads or where data is coming into. You can integrate Practice Ignition with some CRMs as well. And we can talk about that further. If you're interested in finding out about that, we can have a conversation about that too. But when you get an inquiry from a new client, you want to build them a proposal. So the building blocks of a proposal are in your library. So in your library of Practice Ignition here, you can see all of our services that we've got saved here. Lots of different services. We can go through those and see them all here. You can even click into one and it will give you that service name and a description, and you can change the price, you can change the billing type. But what we've also got is a terms tab here. So if I come into a service, let's say this accounts production service, and click on terms, you can see this service has got a term against it. And this is what populates into the letter of engagement within Practice Ignition. So when you're building that proposal and the letter of engagement that we saw on the last page of that proposal that we just looked at, this is the term that will get populated into that letter of engagement when this production of annual account service is selected. And this is something that we can really support you in getting built up. So we'll help you to build your library, we'll help you to build your service terms and things like that. And we can format your terms into Practice Ignition using our setup team. And if you've got any queries around formatting or anything like that, we're always here to help you and support you in that as well. But all of your services are completely customizable to you. Having said that, we do have some templates and example services that you can use. And the same goes for our terms as well. So your letter of engagement here, you can see we've got some templates that you can use, or we can take your current letter of engagement and format that into Practice Ignition for you as well. So you've got a new inquiry in. Let's build out a proposal. If we click on here, we'll click build a new proposal. And before I get started, I just wanted to highlight over here on the right-hand side, you've got the ability to save templates. So in the custom templates, these are all templates that we've saved into this account. It might be that you've got sort of standard packages, whether that be 3 options or just 1 option, and you can save those as a template here so that when you create a proposal, all you do is you come in, you click on the template that you want to use, and it will load everything up for you. All you have to do is choose the client that you're going to send it to. We do also have some provided templates as well that go with our example services, as you can see here. And that's something that we can support you in getting set up or pulling into your account as well. So let's build out this proposal, and it's really as easy as going through the steps across the top here. So we can call that proposal whatever we like. And we choose a client. As you can see here, we can also create a new client in Practice Ignition. So if we create a new client, you click on here, and it gives you the ability to just build that client out. So you can add a client name, you can add their contact name, and then you can add their company details as well, like their address and everything like that. What will happen then is if you've got a Xero QuickBooks Ledger integrated, that new client, when they accept a proposal in Practice Ignition, will automatically be generated or created in Xero QuickBooks ready for invoicing. And the same goes the other way. So if you've got existing clients in Xero or QuickBooks, they'll show up in Practice Ignition for you automatically as well. In the drop down here, if we start typing, all of the clients that we've got in there will show up. So if we use our trusty AAA Plumbing again, it loads up the contact details automatically. And then you can choose from when you want that proposal to be effective. So here we've got it defaulted to on acceptance, but you can always choose a specific date if you wanted to. So this financial year, so the 1st of July, we can start it from this month, next month, or you can choose a custom date in there as well. We've then got the minimum contract length. This minimum contract length is more of a reference for yourself internally. So you've probably got an ongoing agreement with your clients, but it's really nice to be able to re-engage with those clients every 12 months to make sure that you've got your letter of engagement up to date, your pricing is up to date, so you make sure that you are increasing your pricing every year, and you're re-engaging with that client to see if their needs have changed, their business has changed, or whatever might be going on within the business there. And you can choose custom lengths here. So if you've got a specific project potentially that you're working on with a client, you can always adjust that and do it for a specific set amount of time. Or if you just wanted it to be 12 months or 24 months and it'd be an ongoing agreement. Remember, this is the minimum contract length. It's not a sort of hard finish or a hard close at that date. You can stop the billing then if you wanted to, but it's up to you how you want to work with your clients. The next step is services. So this is where you actually build the meat of the proposal. And in here, you would then initially select the billing type, so the billing rules that you want to set up for the different services. So you've got various different ways of billing: weekly, monthly, quarterly, on acceptance, on completion. With weekly, monthly, and quarterly, that doesn't mean it has to be every week. It could be every 2 weeks. It doesn't mean it has to be every month. It can be every 1 month, every 6 months, every 12 months if you want it to be. Because when you click on monthly, you can then edit those billing rules. So we've got this billed monthly, and we're going to have it recurring, but you can always say, okay, yeah, we want it recurring, but we want it recurring every 12 months indefinitely. So it's only going to bill the client once a year, but it's going to be set to recurring. It's going to automatically bill them for you. It might be that you want to do every 2 months. It's completely up to you how you fluctuate that billing and what you do there. You can also choose for it to start on a specific date. Obviously, we've set the proposal start date in this example to the 1st of July, so it defaults to that. But you can always say, okay, a period after acceptance or on acceptance, or you can choose that specific date in there. We're going to change that to 2021. So once you've set that date and you've done everything that you need to do in there, so we'll come into here and we'll change the start date to 2021. And then we go through and we can edit that billing rule and change that start date to 2021 as well. Once you've changed the billing rules and you've got that set up, what you can then do is you build out the proposal by selecting the services that you want to provide for that client. So let's just pop in there a production of annual account service. We'll do a bookkeeping service. And as you can see, I can add service. I can add services by typing in the box here, but you can also create new services if you wanted to as well. So if I just type new service and click on create new service, you can build a service as you go along. So you can create that service as you're building the proposal. So if you haven't got that one in there, saved in your library, and this client's got a real specific requirement, or it's a new service for your business, you can build them as you go along and build them as you introduce them into the practice as well. So once you've added a couple of services in there and the ones that you're going to be providing to that client, let's do a payroll service, a monthly payroll as well. With all of these services, this is what's saved in your library. And you can see that when I add them in, a price is added to those services. And you can see these two are fixed and this one is included. So with these billing rules or these price types, you can always change those. So you've got a fixed price in here, but you've also got included, you've got variable minimum. So you can give them a minimum and not a maximum. You can give them a variable unit. So you can quote, and I'll show you in a second with payroll, you can quote per employee if you wanted to. But with the fixed billing, you can always adjust the price if you want to as well. and even the description of that service. You can come in here and you can add a new line in there if you wanted to, and add some more description into that service. And all of the services that are saved in your library can be customized on a per proposal level as well. When you adjust it on a proposal, it's not going to then adjust it within your library. It's only going to change it within this one proposal. As I mentioned, we can quote, so we've got payroll service in here. We're going to do a payroll service on a variable unit here. So if you want to charge per employee, for example, let's say we want to do 500 per employee. What that will then quote to the client is it will show them that, but it will be a monthly recurring service. And where I showed you in that build manually section, you can just then come into Practice Ignition, tick the box, schedule it to go with your other invoices on that first of the month or whenever you're invoicing, for however many employees you might have processed the payroll for that month. As I mentioned when we were going through that initial proposal that I showed you, you can bill different frequencies for different services. So you don't have to do everything monthly. You don't have to do everything on completion or on acceptance. You can do, so for example, we can do these services on a monthly basis, and then we might have, let's do it on acceptance charge of, we'll do some software onboarding and setup for that client as well, and we'll charge them a bit more than that. Let's charge them. And then in here, we can even choose when we want to bill them. So whether that's on acceptance, a period after acceptance, we can bill them 1 week after acceptance, or we can bill them on a specific date. So let's say we want to bill them on that 1st of July, as we've set for everything else. And that will then show up on that proposal that they're going to be billed that on the 1st of July. You can have on completion billing as well. So it might be that you're doing their tax on completion. We'll have that as a fixed cost and we'll bill them. So that's your proposal built out. You've got the different billing methods in there, or the way that you're billing those clients. The next step is terms. Payments, unfortunately, is not available currently in South Africa. Hopefully it will be soon. We've got terms as the next step. So this is your letter of engagement, or the way that you want your letter of engagement to appear. So over here on the right-hand side, you've got different letter of engagement templates. So you saw those in the library under the terms section. It might be that you've got one for individuals, one for limited companies, whatever you might want to have in here. You can save as many templates as you like. But if we click on that template, what it will do is it will automatically populate the information that we need it to and pull through onto that letter of engagement for you. The next step is automation. So if you are using a practice management tool, so for example, Xero Practice Manager, Carbon, or you've got a Zapier integration with something like Center or Pixie or another tool, then what we can do is we can automate some of the workflow that gets pushed through to that tool. So when a service is selected within a proposal, you can then automatically push that job and that workflow and that task into your practice management tool for your staff to then work through those jobs. So based on the proposal, it'll automate that whole process for you as well. The next step and the final step really is the presentation. So what it looks like when you are building that proposal and what it looks like when you send it to the client. So in here, you can write a personalized message. You can include a link if you wanted to, and you can even include videos. So as I said, it might be that you want to put a hyperlink to a form in there that the client needs to complete to get that information. And when you're adding a video, all it is copy paste the link into there. So you copy it from YouTube or Vimeo or whatever video recording software you're using and add that into here as well. You've got your brochure attached as a default, but you can always attach a different document if you wanted to. So it's any PDF document can be attached here. So you may have one for new clients and one for existing clients, and you might want to switch those up a little bit when you're sending across your proposals or renewing an engagement with a client. You can also add a video, as I mentioned, on that final step. Once they've accepted the agreement, you can pop a video in there and you can see what that text is going to look like. And then you can define what that email is going to look like when it gets sent to the client as well. So in here, what you can have is different templates for emails that are getting sent out to the client. So it might be that you just want to pull through your welcome message as the email that gets sent to the client. And you can do that with a placeholder in PI. You can customize that as much as you like. That's that proposal built out. The next step is to send it to the client and wait for them to sign the agreement. So when you send it to the client, like I said, when it's in that awaiting signature stage, Practice Ignition will chase it automatically. Once they've signed that agreement, if we click into this one that's already been signed, you can see it populates where that person is when they sign that agreement. It'll also tell you the name of the person, the date and the timestamp. So it's a legally binding signature. And you can also always view that proposal as a PDF as well. So that'll be the engagement letter and also the proposal details. So if we click on this PDF here, you can see again, it's all branded with your logo and the colors match your branding. And with it being a digital document, there's hyperlinks through to the different sections. So we can click on the service summary and it will give us a real detailed description of all of the services that are included. The next page, you've got your billing schedule, and you've got lots of information in there. And you can always download that and save that under the client record into whatever tool you're using. And the client will get a copy of this for their own records as well. What you can also see here is an audit trail of that proposal. So when the proposal gets sent to the client, you'll be able to see when the client's opened it, how many times they've opened it, who sent it, when it was sent, and the specific dates that are affiliated with that as well. So you can keep track of that proposal really easily. But you can also keep track of all of your proposals and where they're at in stages by just clicking on the Clients tab in Practice Ignition. When you come to the clients here, you can see all of your clients. You've got your leads, your active clients, so they're clients that have got signed agreements in Practice Ignition. Inactive, so ones that you've had an agreement and are now completed or inactive. And then, like I said here, you can click on these links here, and it will take you to all of the clients that have got proposals that are awaiting acceptance. So you can see all of these clients here. If we click on apples and peaches, you can see they've still got a proposal that's awaiting acceptance that's not been signed yet. So you can chase that up or follow it up yourself if you want to, but it's nice to be able to know where your proposals are at and where they are in the process. Down the bottom here as well, you've also got the ability to view any clients that have got overdue or billing that's due to be completed soon. So that's for your manual build items. So whether that's for fluctuating billing services or on completion services, whatever it might be, if you click on that overdue button, it will show you all of the clients that have got overdue billing. When you come into it, we'll click on AA Builders and Sons. When we come into the billing schedule, you can see, oh, we forgot to invoice for our payroll services in April and May. So all we then do is we click those buttons, click on invoice now, choose what the quantity was for the number of employees, and send that to the client. And now you're up to date. So it's nice to be able to keep track of where your billing is and how you're billing that client. You've also got some reporting functionality in PI. So in the top here, we've got a dashboard. So within this dashboard, there's some figures around your practice and your business. So here you can see your monthly average revenue being generated. And this is based on the proposal value that you've saved into PI and sent through Practice Ignition. You can forecast out. So my year end is June. So that's why June is the last month here. But if you had months going forward, you'd be able to forecast out how you're going against those months as well. You can change the settings in here and add budget rates to change that line and give a different view of things. You can also see a pipeline here, so you can see conversion rates against proposals that have been sent and signed and accepted, where your recent proposals are, and you can click on those and it will take you through to those proposals as well. So there's the one that we just built out that's still in awaiting acceptance. And then the last box down the bottom here is a report on all of your services as a percentage of your total revenue. So you can see here that we've got all of our services listed, the monthly value bringing into the practice and yearly value bringing into the practice as well. And you can export that to a CSV and drill down into even more detail on the per client basis, what your average charge is for each service to different clients if you are changing those charges. So it gives you some real good insight into the practice and how that all works. So that's Practice Ignition and some of the reporting functionality and obviously the proposal process and what that looks like from your side and also the client's perspective. The final piece of the jigsaw really is the integrations that we have within Practice Ignition. So when you come into the apps tab here, you can see all of the ledgers that we integrate with. So Carbon and QuickBooks and Xero. And then we've also got Carbon as a practice management tool. And then we've got lots of other practice management tools that we integrate with using Zapier. And you can see that we've got some ready-built Zaps down the bottom here that you can just kind of plug and play and use for your business. And something that we really support you with on the initial onboarding phase is making sure that your integrations are working within PI. So making sure that if you are using Xero or QuickBooks, that's integrated. Even if you're not and you want to integrate your email provider or some other tools that you're using via Zapier, we can support with that and help you to do that as well. So that's a whistle-stop tour of Practice Ignition. I hope you enjoyed the session. If you've got any questions or anything, then feel free to reach out to us directly and we'll be happy to help. All the best.